Well, Democrats doing everything that they could think of to derail the first day of Brettt Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings. But the president's Supreme Court nominee is standing his ground, vowing not to let politics influence his judgment. So does his record back up that promise? And Kendall Coffee is a former U.S. attorney, and he worked alongside Judge Kavanaugh, and he joins me now with his take on this. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Heather.
So you know him personally. Do you think that he can be nonpartisan in his decisions and back up what he promises?
Well, I believe he'll be nonpartisan. I believe he will be principled. He stated yesterday that he would bring to cases an open mind, possibly the only one in the room that had an open mind. And I think that while he has a conservative philosophy, to be sure, he's also very aware of the Supreme Court's role in history as an institution, and I think he meant it when he said he does not want it to be part of a partisan instrumentality associated with one party or the other. He emphasized, too, which I don't think I've heard in many of these discussions, that he wants to be part of a 9-member team, not a faction, for example, of 5 justices consistently voting as a bloc. I think he really sincerely means to work with the other justices, listen to them, and develop a philosophy that's best for the country.
Can I ask you a little bit more about him personally? Because when he was finally able to make a statement yesterday, in his opening statement, to listen to him talking about his mom, talking about his dad, and his children who he's constantly talking about, I mean, he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. His personal experiences, his record of integrity are absolutely impeccable. Years ago, I had the privilege of working with him on a difficult case. He volunteered his time to help us, representing Elian Gonzalez and the Miami relatives, to have our issues fairly presented to the Supreme Court of the United States. So I actually got to work with him as a colleague. I don't think he was trying to say anything about the rights of a father or whether somebody should go back to Cuba, but he saw deep federal issues in the case that he wanted fairly presented. I got to know him. I got to work with him. He was spectacular as a lawyer, and you couldn't have asked for a better colleague.
So what do you think is going on with Democrats? I mean, is it because they know they can't do anything about his confirmation ultimately, and so it's just grandstanding and delaying as much as possible?
Well, I'm going to begin by confessing I'm a Democrat, and I thought I saw that a couple of the future presidential candidates of the Democratic Party seem to be starting their campaigns yesterday. In terms of the campaign that's in front of us, which is that will Brettt Kavanaugh be confirmed, I think you will see substantive questioning. I think you will see issues that we expect to be on everybody's mind, talked about directly or indirectly. Obviously, gun rights, Roe versus Wade, the power of the executive. A number of different things are going to be the subjects of very intense questioning. But as things are developing, I think all the senators are very realistic about what the possibilities are. I think the goals are to examine him closely, of course, maybe try to push to get the hope that there will be some open-minded and flexibility about issues like Roe versus Wade. I don't believe Judge Kavanaugh knows how he will rule on that case if and when it comes before the Supreme Court. And so there's going to be substantive questioning, too.
Today, so that's what you expect to happen today. It's interesting. You say you're a Democrat. You like him. We heard the woman speak yesterday as well. She was a Democrat. She actually spoke out in favor of him, said that he should be confirmed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and how this continues. Hopefully it's not as chaotic as it was yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your insight. That was great stuff.
Thank you.
Well, the time now is about 20 minutes after the top of the hour. And